Hello, my Obsidian people. Today we have Odes Roberts here for our interview. He is a big staple in our community, an artist, multimedia. So I am here to present to you Odes Roberts. Hi.
Hello, how you doing?
Not too bad. How about yourself?
Doing good, doing good. Can't
Huh?
complain.
Well, I asked you on this interview because of course, I'm doing a blog on you and your art. And for over 30 years, you have been in the art community, blazing with your artwork. I know a lot of people haven't heard, um, I really haven't heard a lot from you in a while. So I think it's good to reintroduce you to a lot of the younger crowd so they will know your work.
Oh yeah, that's always a good thing. Yeah, I've been doing this art thing for quite a while, um, and it's very good to see that the younger folks are really they set a whole new bar for the art world, and I think that's real good. So I'm excited about it. Got me back down in the laboratory creating. So hey, we'll see what's happening. We'll see what comes about.
Yeah, their new stuff is really nice, and I think a lot of people will concur that they're gonna love it. So we're gonna start off with when did you have start your love for art?
Um, it all started back in, you know, as a kid, just just like your kids, same thing. 6, 7, 8 years old. The first thing that really got me, and it's kind of showing you, how far long ago this was. It was when they used to have these old Hercules movies on, and he was doing all these feats of strength, and to me that was like the first superhero. So I had drawn, so I drew him out and show up to your grandmother, my mom, and she was like, "Oh, baby, that's good." And she, but that was it. So, so it was like, you know, and then from there, as you get older, the comic books come on. So, you know, you you get acquainted to like the Marvel comics, and back then Marvel was like 10 cents a comic. So
Yeah.
I would get bottles and whatever I can, get the comic books and try to copy, the styles, the Spider-Mans, the Fantastic Fours. So, it all came from that. And then, when you look around in the neighborhood, you got, friends of mine that we played together, they were doing the same thing. So we kind of, had a little competition going, see who could do the best and talk stuff. So that's how it all started, you
Yeah.
know.
And usually for people that have your gift and have gone so far, that's usually when it starts is as a child. Just take our kids, Madison and Jazzy and Harlem and Jordan. They are into it. They are really into the arts, and it started at a really young age. And I think that that's when you have to introduce kids to art at a young age to give them something other to do than sit on video games, especially now. Kids don't go outside like they used to. So just giving them another avenue to use their creative mind and imagination. I think that is just one of the things that most kids grow up wanting to do is just use their imagination. Now, a lot of people just doodle, but they never really pursue anything with it. Um, so for my next question here, how long did it take you to find your niche?
Uh, to be honest with you, I still ain't found my niche. For me, it's a constant um, learning process. Constant experimenting. You see so much art, so many different techniques, and so you try to bite off a little bit of here, bite off a little bit of there, and put it to what your style is. Whatever that is. people always have a thing, say, well, this is your style. Um, I don't know anything about that because this is the only way I know how to do it. So you kind of try to combine it and see where it goes. You just you know you, that's the beauty of art. You never learn enough.
Right.
You never um, you know, you shouldn't think that, well, I'm at my pinnacle and I can do this and I'm this great and I'm that, because you're not, you know. And like I said, I've been doing this stuff for a long time.
Yeah, you have.
And yeah, and and I still haven't touched on my full potential. You know, I haven't even scratched the surface.
No, you haven't.
And exactly, and being at this point in time in my life, you know, being where I'm at, and I'm 65, so you know that. So if I haven't scratched the surface, what happens if I'm blessed to be at 80 and still
Right.
painting? What am I putting out here then? So, this is the thing about art, and this is the thing about artists should really recognize that, keep striving, man. You don't know it all. Your,
Yeah,
your
and
stuff, your stuff ain't that good,
I've
Just keep
watched
putting it.
I've watched your style change. I
Yeah.
remember as a kid looking through like when we got ready to move and just kind of looking through your sketchbooks and didn't realize that you could do those type of things. And it wasn't until I was maybe about 13 to 14 when I really started to see you pick up a brush and like take it to the next level. And then ever since then, every it seems like every so often your style has changed like dramatically. It's just has changed a lot. And it's people need to see that. They need to see that you don't have to stay in one type of art, one style of art. That you change your art as much as possible. I think a lot of actually you have an exhibit in, I believe, Owens right now, right? It's still there, right?
Yeah, it's still there.
Yeah, it's
It'll
still
be there to the 31st of this month. Yeah, October.
31st of this month. So, if anybody really wants to go and check it out, I can't think of the name of the gallery.
Thune, Thune Gallery. Yeah,
Yeah, okay, yeah.
the Thune. Yeah.
I believe you have to call and make an appointment to come in and see it. But there's some other artists that are really awesome there, and my dad
Mm-hmm.
there. I think people will really, really enjoy that. At what time did you figure that you wanted to do so much with like African art? Because most of your newer stuff is African inspired. And I know the last maybe 10 years, it was musical. But now that it's this new style is hitting it out the park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing about it is that the music and the African art, it kind of all intertwines because it's kind of all connected if you think about it. I think with the African thing now, it's more of me expressing the beauty of who we are, where we come from. You know, it's always been said that we don't have a history. Ooh, they are so wrong. We have so much history. And I think to put it on canvas, on paper, on whatever, or sculpture is probably the best way to showcase who we are and what we do and what we can do. Um, for me, when I look at the culture, the dance, the clothing, the mask, the rhythm, the everything. I mean, from where they're at, from the villages to the city. There's such a I don't know, a cultural thing,
Yeah, it's culture.
Yeah, and it's and people want to take it and look at it like it's so different from ours, but it really isn't. You know, it really truly isn't. The only difference is our way of thinking, and the
The
way
way of
we've
living
been,
now. Yeah.
yeah, and how we've been programmed, you know, to think that, oh, you know, this is not, man, this is you. This is who
Yeah.
you are. This is where you come from. And I think to showcase that at this particular point in time is not only important, but we also have to showcase and show how it intertwines with that and where we are now, you know, and who we are now. And so I try to kind of put that together and and um and let people see, you know, hey, look, this is who you are. This is where we at. And no matter what it is that we do, we are the most emulated people on the planet.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't care what you say or what you
Yeah.
do.
Style
You
and
know,
everything. Clothes,
exactly, exactly.
dance.
You know. So hey, we just got to just keep doing what we do. You know, and understand that at some point we need to invest in each other. You know,
Yes.
we control the economy. You know, and once we understand how that we control the economy, then we can pretty much do
Do
what
what
we
we
want to
want.
do, you know, and that's important, you know. But I think the arts are probably one of the most important aspects of our culture and of our society, and also probably the least looked at as being of relevancy.
Yeah.
But you know, if you didn't have the arts, then you would have no idea what was going on in the fifth or sixth century.
Well, it's a lot of
You
our
know,
history. It's a lot of our history, even dating back to BC. You look
yeah,
at pyramids, you look at the art that they put inside. They wrote it basically on their building.
yeah,
Everywhere else,
exactly,
it told a
exactly.
story. It told many stories, and a lot of the stuff is lost, and some of the stuff is hidden. But
Yeah, a lot's
it's
hidden.
there. It's there,
Yeah,
and um, I think a lot of our young kids need to really do some deep digging and go back and look and see, um, look at the art there. It's always there. It's a history. It's a culture. It's everything that we have in our communities that we need to highlight more often. Um, so, how do you how do you think your art will inspire younger generations?
hmm. Um, to just explore, to experiment. You know, see the key to art. What people don't understand is that everybody have an artistic gene in them. The key to it is to continuously practice.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you practice it and get to the point where you start researching and start looking at different things and start, you know, studying different techniques and practice. And this is where you become where you are, you know, you consider, you know, a good artist, you know, and that's basically it, you know. That is the key to it all. You know, everybody think well, I can't draw a stick. Oh, you can draw a stick and put everything behind that stick, and that's art. You know, so you know, don't tell me what you can't do. You do what you
Try it.
you, you can do.
It's your perception.
It's your perception,
Yeah.
and your perception. If you're happy with your perception, that's great art. I don't, you don't care about what everybody else thinks. If you don't like it, I like it. That's mine. I'm gonna put it up on. You don't want it, so, and that's always been my view about it.
What artists impress you with their work?
Oh yeah, now the
Yes.
present artist. Um, I was telling you before. This dude, his name is Ibiana. Ibiana. He's from Nigeria. His brother with the palette knife, man, is legendary. His work impresses me because he can take something that looks very simple, but it's so complicated, and he does it so well. And by me using a palette knife, now more than I'm using brushes, I can really look at it and relate to how he does it, and the technique and the touch. Because when you're using palette knife, it's all about touch. It's not about pressure, and well, it's about pressure, but it's always about less pressure. And it is a difficult technique to really conquer, because you're trying to create an image that you can create with a brush pretty straightforward, but you're doing it with a palette knife, and it's a lot of thickness. It's a lot of it's a lot of being able to play with it. And I think this was kind of draw me to him, because he does it so well. Oh man.
Yeah.
And there's a number of artists. I mean, there's some guys right now. I've been really looking at these guys in Nigeria, the hyper realistic artists like Arnez, and I can just name a lot of them. These guys are
Looks like
phenomenal.
yeah,
they look like
it looks like it's an
real.
HD. Yeah,
Exactly.
I've never seen anything like that before. It looks, yeah, that's amazing.
Exactly. Yeah,
And
and I marvel at it, because the time and the effort they put into it. Shoot, man, I look at my ADHD kick in, and I'll be like, this is taking too long.
it's too much.
Yeah, I gotta throw some paint up here later for this, man. Shoot. But yeah, it's very impressive, and they really impress me.
Yeah, they are and phenomenal artists. I follow them on Instagram, so
yeah,
they set the bar, but that's the glory about having art. Art is different. Art can be different for everyone. You can slap some paint up there and finger paint.
Yeah,
it's art. I've seen people do it that way.
Yeah.
So to end this interview, I'm gonna give you one last question. And what advice do you have for upcoming artists?
Paint, create. If you coming up, put your stuff out there. I mean, there's so many tools now. When I was coming up, there wasn't a lot of tools. I mean, to get your stuff to Europe, you had to literally get slides made from a photographer and make sure they're right. And then you had to literally put them together and number them and everything, and then mail it out. Wow. So now the technology is, you take a picture, boom, gone. They got it as we speaking here. So I think just to create, don't limit yourself. Don't get stuck up in, I got to do it like this artist. I got to do it like, no, do you. And do your passion. Be passionate about it. Don't worry about the profit. Don't even think about profit. If you're trying to do this for money, you ain't gonna get no money. If you do this for your passion, and passion will equal profit, you'll love what you're doing, and don't worry about what people think, and don't be so thin-skinned when you get somebody who don't like your work. And then you ask them, well, let me see your work. Well, I don't paint. Well, then, okay, so much for that conversation. So keep doing it. Practice.
Yep.
And explore, research, and have fun, man. So that's what it's about. And that's what I tell them. And that's what I tell my grandbabies, practice, have fun, create stuff.
Okay, well, thank you so much for this interview. I can't wait to get this blog up and let everyone know, and get in-depth pictures of your work, so a lot of people will be able to see Odes Roberts. The second.
Yeah.
No, actually senior.
Nah. Yeah, I'm number
You
one.
senior.
That other dude, number two.
That other dude, number two.
Yeah.
All righty.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right, good. All right. Love you. Bye.
Bye.